good, guys? We got Devin's Frieza Life deck profile today. Tier 0, meta, destroying, locals, crushing, threats. Take it away, Devin.
Okay, the leader is the set 12 Frieza. He's got a lot of text on him. His first permanent is if all your life is face up, you lose the game. And when you take damage, instead of adding the cards to your hand, you flip life face up equal to damage taken. And his permanent is cards in your life can only be flip face up by the skills of yellow cards, and you can't add face up cards from your life to your hand. And when you play this leader, you start with a field card in play, and he awakens at 5 or less life. You KO the field card to flip him over. On his backside, exact same permanence. You lose the game if all your life face up. Whenever you take damage, you flip life face up equal to the damage taken instead of taking it. But he has a new activate battle once per turn. You can put a card from your life into the drop area. To draw one, he'll get 5k and double strike for the battle, so it's a great way to just get last 2 damage in. And when you play him, you get this field card. It's a 10-drop barrier field card with auto once per turn. When a card in your life is face up, you choose one of your opponent's cards and switch to rest mode. You can choose any card, leader, unison, energy, battle. Really good. Activate main once per turn is if all your energy is mono yellow, you choose one card in your life and one of your mono yellow Frieza army cards in your battle area and put them in the drop area. Then you draw 2 cards and you choose a mono yellow Frieza army card or a mono yellow unison and put it in your life face up. And then it has an activate main / battle that works as a secondary awaken condition, where if you have 3 or more face up life, you can put the top card of your deck into your life face up to flip your leader over and put this card in the drop area. Now to the main engine of the deck is we have 4 Sorbet, Commander of Frieza Forces. He's a 1-drop. When he comes into play, you look at the top 5 for a Frieza army that's yellow with a cost of 3 or less, or a unison with the specified cost of 2, add to hand. And he has an activate main, you can pay a yellow. If your leader card is a yellow Frieza army, and you have the field card in play, you can play him from your drop area with the skills negated, and you can only do this once per turn. Next we have 4 Tagoma. He's a 1-drop 4K. When he comes into play, you draw a card, and he also functions as sort of a pseudo-secondary recovery device, where if he's in your drop area, your leader's a mono yellow Frieza army, and you have 2 or more energy, you can send him from your drop area to your warp to choose a mono yellow Frieza army card or unison in your hand, put it in your life face up, and you draw a card. And also as part of the cost, you have to choose a face up card in your life and put it in drop area. So you want to get face up cards to then cycle them out. Next we have Ginyu, 1 last body change. He's a 1-drop. When he comes into play, you can put a face up card from your life in your drop area to draw 2. And once per turn, or auto, not once per turn. His auto is when a card in your life is face up, or not that. When one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode, he gets blocker for the turn, which functions when your life is face up. You get to rest something, so he combos with the recovery device. Then we have 4 Frieza, same stuff, different day. He's a 1-drop Roshi negate, 1-drop counterattack that plays himself and negates the attack. But his permanent lets you use his counterattack skill from your life if he's face up in your life. So you can life negate. 4 Frieza, the onslaught begins. He's a 2-drop blocker. You can pay 1 auto if your leader card is mono yellow Frieza army. If this face up card would be put in your drop area from your life, you can pay yellow to play him. And then when you play him, if it's your turn, you get to KO a rest mode battle card of 4 or less. Now we have 4 Frieza. Trained at last. Cannot read upside down. He's a 19k double strike 3-drop. And you can pay yellow if your leader card's a mono yellow Frieza army. If you'd be put face up from your life in your drop area, you can pay yellow to play him. And he sort of functions as a crusher ball, where if your leader card is mono yellow Frieza army and your opponent plays a card, you can put a face up card from your life into your drop area to choose that card and have it be rested and draw one. So it gets around deflect, but it doesn't get around blocker. Then we have the big boy of the group, Frieza Divine Transformation. He's your deflect, double strike blocker, permanent. This card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills, which is ridiculous. Then he has an auto. If your leader card is yellow when you play him, you choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them. Then you get to flip a face-up card in your life face down. So with this leader, since you're flipping life face up to take damage, he basically gives you a life back. And then his auto, once per turn, when your opponent uses a counterattack skill, you get to choose up to 2 of their cards, switch them to rest mode, and they can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. And if you have multiple that, you get to do that multiple times, and it gets ridiculous. Then we have the super combo for Sashimi, the generic Unison super combo, where your leader card is yellow and you have a Unison in play, you get to draw one. And then when he hits the drop area, he then goes under the Unison if the Unison has Rejuvenate. So he's a way to put a card underneath the Unison to be able to rejuvenate it off. And then the Unison is for Ginyu, a new transformation. He has Rejuvenate once per turn. You remove 4 markers and put a card from underneath into the drop area to put the top card of your deck into your life face down. His auto, if your leader card is mono yellow and you don't have a Unison in play, if this face-up card would be put from your life into your drop, he comes into play with 1 marker. And his +1 is his Unison ability, Activate Main. You may choose 1 face-up card in your life and put it underneath them to put a mono yellow card from your hand into your life face-up, and then you draw 1. So he also lets you cycle. Onto the extra cards, 4 time magic, Sparking Negate. It's good. Keep in mind, you cannot Sparking face-up life with this leader, which is a big thing to keep track of. So a lot of times you aren't going to tap out even if you want to play a card, just because you don't want to be getting rid of a life you can't get back. Our leader card's Frieza. We got the 1 of Bloodlust. Extremely busted. There's a reason it's at 1. Not much else to say.
You have to play 2 secret rares.
Yeah. 2 Vegeta Final Flash. It's a great card. Really, like, you could go 4. Really only think you need 2. You're mostly using it for defense. I rarely ever use it for offense, because with your leader only being a 5k on the front, lets you get up to 20k, gets rid of skills. Generally good. 1 Frieza call. I may or may not up it. There's the cheeky thing to do is Frieza call out the 2-drop blocker to KO a rested card. It's good. It lets you get, if you don't have a card in hand, it lets you get one out to then recovery device kill it to start the cycle again. 1 Swift Retaliation Cooler. Like Bloodlust for counters, I guess. Counters, you get to draw cards. It's really good, and the deck draws a lot. So even with only 1 copy, you're gonna see it. Then we have our secret, Shin Shenron. This deck's got a lot of 1-drops. It's gonna cost 2 or 3. A lot of times he costs 1. And he basically goes, you get another turn when he comes into play, because your opponent's got to swing it at a lot or combo a lot. Our other secret is 1 Fu Shrouded Mystery. It's the other alternate win condition. You get a big drop area in this deck because you're always killing a battle card every turn to recovery device to draw. And when he comes in, a lot of times you're able to just go for game that turn, or you're able to pressure your opponent a lot, and then on their turn they can't kill you because his auto will still be active. 1 Agony of Hell Frieza. 2-drop comes into play, gets back a Frieza. He's Universe 7, which is relevant for this last small Universe 7 package. 2 Cold Hearted Strike Frieza. Yeah, he's a 5-drop dual attack 20k. Generally you're charging him for yellow. I've never discarded a card for his auto because there's always been a better 5-drop to play. But he also functions as a way to evolve out the big guy. Did your 7-drop 30k. EX Evolve of pay 1, ditch a U7 to put on top of that Frieza, because he's the only 5-drop U7 Frieza in the deck. 30k Triple Strike permanent whenever your opponent activates a counter skill and non-keyword auto/activate skills. As an additional cost, they have to crit a life. So another alternate win condition at the end, because a lot of this deck is just playing your 1-drop, sacking them to draw cards to build up a hand for defense, and putting out blockers to get you to the end. And I haven't really seen this leader talked about much. I think he's good. I think he has his weaknesses though, with the biggest one being 5k on the front side. But other than that, this is pretty much the only deck I've been playing, and it's really fun to do. But there's a lot of text. I may have said the wrong thing for some of these effects. But when there's like 8 paragraphs per card, I'm bound to make a couple mistakes.
And you've been killing it the last couple of weeks with this deck too. Like,
I've
2-1
been
pretty almost every
going
week.
undefeated in X1 pretty much every week almost.
Yeah, seems really
It's
rewarding.
able to do good, but it is it feels big brain deck that requires you to kind of always be thinking about what the right play is and doesn't have a whole lot of room for mistakes.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for giving us that deck profile, Devin. This is definitely the kind of deck I associate with you when I think about the kinds of decks you play, and you seem to have really found a home with it, so I'm glad you've been doing well with it, and thanks for giving us this profile.
Yep.